Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AfterShock Happy Hour. What, happy hour? No, I haven't started drinking yet. What? Welcome back to the AfterShock EpiCenter live stream. We're starting it off right. I am your host, RuthAnn Thompson, the Senior Retailer Relations Manager here at AfterShock Comics. Well, we always have something go wrong on the show, so I might as well just get it out of the way right at the introduction. Sith Lordy, good to see you, buddy. Glad that you're already on here. And Chad Coper, I'm so glad that you're also looking forward to Silver City #2 this week. And I'm so glad that you had a great exchange with the writing team on the Twitter space about issue 1. They are absolutely lovely. Olivia is one of my favorite people to talk to. I try to hang out with her at cons whenever possible. And hello, E-Man. Good to see you, buddy. So let's get started because we have some incredible titles for our new comic book day tomorrow for Wednesday, June 16th. Very cinematic all around, starting with our excellent swashbuckling brand new title, Seven Swords #1. So this is from writer Evan Darty, and you can tell right away that he is a screenwriter because you best know him from writing the movies Killing Season, Snow White and the Huntsman, and the film adaptation of Divergent. And this is just an incredibly cinematic, swashbuckling tale of the fabled Fourth Musketeer, along with the greatest swords wielders of history and literature. And we bring you Seven Swords. A weary and jaded D'Artagnan is drawn into a final conflict with the wicked Cardinal Richelieu, whose ruthless quest for power has led him to the supernatural. Bum, bum, bum. So it just jumps right in with a whole lot of action, swordplay, and fun. And I cannot suggest this title more. It is just too much fun. And as always with our new #1s, we have 4 extra pages of content. And this issue gives you a special dossier of all of our characters, as well as a special sneak peek in the back preview of Clans of Bellari, which will be coming out in shops on July 7th. So make sure you pick this up. And yeah, Sith Lordy, dun dun dun. It's all very exciting. It's very intense. We love it. So absolutely, highly suggest this title. It's going to be such a fun ride from start to finish. Next up is Silver City #2. As we discussed earlier, this has been a really fun, very different title from the incredible Olivia Cortero Briggs and the artist Luca Merli, who just really captures this kind of dark dystopian kind of purgatory that our character Rue seems to be in. It's very hard reading this copy when it's just Rue this, Rue that, because it's me. But our main character, Rue, recalls the horrific truth behind her untimely death. Meanwhile, a group discovery about Junie awakens Rue's sense of justice, sending them all on a dangerous mission, fraught with unknown peril and some inexplicable new powers. So this is in shops tomorrow, and I don't want to spoil anything. Make sure you pick up this title. If you haven't already, it's an incredible one. And we've worked with Olivia several times before. This will be her second title with us, and maybe there's another one coming up. Just mum's the word on that. Rue and Silver City from Sith Lordy. Yep, it's true. It's c'est moi. And last but not least, for our single issues that are coming out brand new for tomorrow's New Comic Day on Wednesday, June 16th, is Steve Orlando's Project Patron #3. This is our incredible twist on the classic superhero trope. So 30 years ago, the patron died, only for the United Nations to replace him with a perfect robotic duplicate in secret. Now the monster responsible for Patron's death has returned, threatening to expose the Project Patron team. But with one of their own dead, is the team strong enough to fight on? I'm being very general as well as describing this title because I don't want to spoil anything. This is just Steve Orlando is one of my favorite writers right now on the scene across all the different publishers. He is so incredible of taking specific stories and twisting them just a little bit. Last week we discussed his one of his earlier titles with us, Kill a Man, another incredible just putting two stories together or two genres together and just hitting it so perfectly. So if you haven't picked up Project Patron yet, I cannot suggest it more. Kind of like with all these titles, I'm kind of obsessed with all of them, not gonna lie. And speaking of very cinematic titles, we are super stoked that the trade paperback of Kaiju Score Volume 1 is out tomorrow in shops. So this is from writers James Patrick and artist Rem Brew. And it's already, before this even came out last year, it was already picked up by Sony Pictures to be a movie. So this is basically a Quentin Tarantino heist film meets a Godzilla monster flick. What could possibly go wrong in the most dangerous heist ever attempted? With these 4 desperate criminals, they're going all in a once-in-a-lifetime chance to steal millions of dollars of art and turn their miserable lives around, finally. And they haven't had any wins yet, but this is going to be the one, right? Because the only catch is they have to pull it off under the nose of a 1,000-ton kaiju. What could go wrong? And a giant monster might just be the least of their problems. So this is the 128-page volume that contains the entire first arc, issues 1 through 4. So cannot suggest this one enough either, because if you just love some heist movies and monster hijinks, highly suggest this as well. I just see everybody in the comments just like yelling each other's names. So glad you guys are joining us and enjoying chatting with each other on this. I love it. Also, we're super stoked. This Thursday, we have another happy hour. My favorite new show that we do. This week, on Thursday, June 17th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, we chat with Beyond the Breach writer, Ed Brisson. So this is a brand new title that's going to be coming out, so I can't wait to tell you guys so much about it and ask Ed all the questions, as well as we're going to have from the AfterShock Comics team and managing editor, Christina Harrington. So if you have all your questions about all the books that she's edited in her career so far, make sure you join, because at the end of this, we'll also have our live sale with exclusive rarities and graded comics that are going to be at a fraction of the cost. So make sure you stop by, because the stuff that we're selling, we're only selling it for 24 hours. And if you guys were a big fan of Bunny Mask that just came out last week, we have our first ever happy hour exclusive variant, and it is of Bunny Mask #1 by Mike Ruth. So if you're a fan of this and are looking to, or you like to collect and then resell stuff online, this is a good place to go, because we'll have that, Baby Teeth #17 Ambassador variant covers. So basically the Ambassador variant covers aren't even available to buy anywhere. So you have to, this is the only way to buy them. And we have the Baby Teeth #17, Nuclear Family #1, Project Patron #1 for the Ambassador variant covers, as well as 2 graded books, or actually 3, I'm sorry, 3 graded books and a hardcover book that's going to be all at a very special price, as well as just fun of just hanging out with me. Pour yourself a drink. Let's talk some comics. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time. I am so curious of what's going on in the chat, because now I just saw Sith Lordy says, I'm gonna yell cheeseburger. I don't know when you're gonna yell this. If it's now I want a cheeseburger. So if that was your intent, you win. You were correct. That's what happened. All right. So the other thing that we're doing for all the month of June is featuring our LGBTQ titles and trade paperbacks and hardcover books. So let's start off with, these are actually 2 of my favorites that we have. This is, first up is Horde with our own LGBTQ creative Marguerite Bennett and artist Layla Lays, who both I just adore so much, and the artwork is so beautiful and horrifying in this hardcover. Make sure you pick it up. We actually, if you were part of the happy hour a couple of weeks ago, we actually sold the variant cover of this, so make sure you pick this up. So this is around the main character who, after the death of her father, Ruby tries to reconnect with her estranged and isolated mother, whose hoarder house is a nightmare labyrinth of secrets and dangers. I don't know if any of you have hoarders in your family, but oh good God, Lemon, it is terrifying, and this takes it to the deepest level. Because all the love that Rudy was never shown, she sees her mother lavish on her treasures and trinkets, the possessions that possess her. But when Ruby desperately tries to free her mother, the house wages war, ensnaring both women within its maze, brought to hideous and twisted life by a mother's love. The Horde is determined to purge Ruby from the collection, or see her join it forever. Dun, dun, dun. And the rating for this is 17 plus, because it is quite terrifying, and the artwork and all that is very scary. Sith Lordy says Horde looks great. If you are a horror fan, this is a very good one. Go with this one. And it's a great way to celebrate LGBTQ and support LGBTQ stories and creatives. Next up for our LGBTQ title of this week is Moth and Whisper. This is our non-gendered lead title with writer Ted Anderson, artist Jen Hickman, and letterer Marshall Dillon. And this is a very futuristic world where mobs basically control everything. And everyone knows the two greatest thieves in the city are Moth, and the other is Whisperer. Very few that the Moth and Whisperer disappeared 6 months ago, and even fewer know that they were actually a couple. They weren't warring, and they had a child. And nobody knows about this, and now Moth and Whisperer are being covered by their child, Nikki, who is pretending to be both of them, and is very uncertain, but very, very talented non-gendered thief. Has been trained by their parents, and is not only trying to find their parents, but also try to fight against these corporations in this cyberpunk dystopia. So if you're looking for a non-gendered title and want to celebrate and support your LGBTQ creatives, this is another beautiful book to purchase. Let's see, I have my trade paperback right here. Beautiful artwork from Jen Hickman. It is fantastic. So, okay, good. I'm glad Shamaro Cinema says sounds awesome, which I like to hear. Yes, all of these books are so fantastic. Make sure you pick them up. And coming up, we have In the Spotlight, MISKATONIC Volume 1. So if you missed out on this title, the full trade paperback will be out in shops July 7th. And the Miskatonic Valley holds many mysteries. Cultists worshiping old gods, a doctor dead set on resurrecting the recently deceased, a house overrun by rats in the walls, but none more recent than a series of bombings targeting the valley's elite. So this is a genre mashup of historical crime fiction and Lovecraftian horror that dives deep into the American nightmare. So if you're looking for something a little noir, horror, Lovecraftian, you got it right here. It's a very, very fun title, and that'll be in shops July 7th. We also have Beyond the Breach. So we are going to be talking to Ed Brisson on our happy hour on Thursday. So make sure you join, because this is a very, very fun title. I'm so curious of how much we're allowed to say and how much he will tell us, because I only know this much from talking to him on a conference call, but I'm very excited for this new title coming out. And of course, we have coming up Bunny Mask #2, Huzzah! And that will be in shops June 22nd. This horror title that is just blown up over the last week. We already sold out of the first issue before Wednesday even concluded last week. So we are so stoked that you guys are enjoying this creepy title from Paul Tobin and artist Andre Muti, because it's a spooky one. And E-Man says it can't wait for Beyond the Breach. Yes, you and me, buddy, super stoked about it. Can't wait. And also, we just announced another new title, Almost American, kind of spies like us. So if you missed out on our Red Atlantis title back in 2020, this is the same writing couple bringing this to you. And this is all based around, in 2008, husband and wife Russian intelligence operatives walk into the U.S. Embassy in the Dominican Republic in order to defect, making a deal to trade secrets for new lives. But instead of the American dream, they found themselves caught up in red tape, bureaucracy, and turf wars between the FBI and CIA, all while their past tries to kill them. And this is the true life story based on the real life spies, written by the comics master Ron Mars in close consultation with Jan Newman, and artwork by the star Marco Castiello. You might know him from Source to Come. And if you want to check out an early look, we have links for that as well. So really stoked about that title. And as always, we enjoy like connecting with all of you and chatting with you guys via this show and our other live show, as well as Twitter. So let's jump on the best tweets from last week's titles. So first up, we have Jesse James on Twitter for Bunny Mask #1. Says, by the 5th page, my brain almost exploded. My stomach had turned twice, and more importantly, I was hooked. I definitely feel that as well, Jesse, because that was just even the first page. I was like, oh, okay, we're in this. We're just going to have a father chiseling out his child's teeth. Okay, let's go. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Next up is a tweet about, let's see, Maniac of New York #5. I know everybody had quite a lot of thoughts on how that arc ended before we start our new arc. And this is Shattered Glass Comic Reviews on Twitter, and says, Maniac of New York #5, the city reacts to the murders. This was a very different issue than the previous 4 and was more of a setup than a finale. Super excited for the sequel series. A must read for comic book horror fans. Absolutely. Everybody is a horror fan. If you did not pick up this title, do you even horror, bro? Like, I don't think so. You got to check that one out. And last but not least, for our tweets of the week, we have another Bunny Mask one from Nick Fryer on Twitter. Just read Paul Tobin and Andre Mudi's Bunny Mask #1 from AfterShock Comics. Glad I didn't read it at night. Just about as freaky as Backraca and I expected. Yeah, it was a lot. I always joke about all of our horror titles that I legit can't read them unless it's like daytime and I have people around, which has been a little difficult during this pandemic time because everything's absolutely terrifying. And Sithori says, I definitely horror. Yeah, do you, bro? Did you read all of Maniac of New York? Just saying, because that's the only way that we'll know for sure. We just, again, I have so much fun with you guys. Thank you for being a part of the AfterShock family. If you guys are looking to be an AfterShock ambassador, just like all of our other cool people around the US, Canada, and the UK that are talking to retailers and bringing them all those cool ambassador variants and promotional materials, we are still looking for people in Dallas, Texas, and Portland, Oregon. So please, if you or anybody you know that just loves AfterShock or wants to get into AfterShock more, make sure they apply. I myself will interview them and they'll get to work with me as well as all the other amazing ambassador management team members. So come on, don't you want to join somebody from Dallas or Portland? Come on down. So I am so stoked for the rest of this week, guys. Hopefully you guys get to your local comic book shops tomorrow to grab all of these awesome titles, as well as join us for Thursday's happy hour live stream and buy yourself some exclusive comics then. And as always, guys, keep safe out there. Wash your hands, wear your mask, keep your distance, and only read dangerously. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye now.